There is some question about why the Trump campaign is being allowed to lease a city facility after it failed to pay $81,000 from a stop here in 2016.
Tucson city officials say they have changed the rules, which will not allow a campaign to use city facilities without payment up front. 13 News reporter Bud Foster is live at the Linda Ronstadt Music Hall, where Trump is scheduled to appear on Thursday. Bud.
Up front. I got a copy of the agreement just a little while ago. $6,500 for the music hall here, $115,000 for police protection. The city said they did get their money for this up front. The city also said that the Trump people first asked for the TCC, which seats somewhere around 9,000 people, but came back later and said that they opted for the music hall, which seats just about 2,000 people.
You know, the former president is entitled to come to anywhere he wants in Arizona.
Still, the last time Trump was here, it turned out to be a violent affair with a protester being sucker punched during the former president's speech, and a wrestling match ensued. But what's been most memorable about that 2016 event is that the campaign failed to pay this bill. The city charged for 180 police officers stationed inside and outside the TCC for 6.5 hours. Public safety was the only expense the city billed.
It's important to provide those services. It's up to the Trump campaign to pay their bills,
which it did not. So the city sent this letter to the campaign 6 months after the event, saying this letter serves as a demand for payment, which never happened. Still, the city will roll out the police again on Thursday. But in order not to get burned again, the city changed its rules and now says all payments for use of facilities must be made in advance. And according to the city, the Trump campaign has paid a deposit.
It's also fair to ask that the taxpayer receive the payback that we need to provide those services. And it's absolutely necessary to have those services, but we need to make sure that, he pays his bill.
The city issued this statement this afternoon, but would not appear on camera. It says, "We now require users of the TCC to pay all costs associated with public safety response, so that taxpayers do not have to shoulder these expenses. Users must deposit the city's estimated amount of public safety response and TCC usage expenses in advance of an event." The Trump campaign has paid the deposit for an estimated cost of $145,222.70 to use the music hall this Thursday. Travelers to the downtown area should expect heavy traffic and plan accordingly.
Bottom line, the most important thing that we need to provide as a government is the ability to protect the former president.
And it wasn't just the Trump campaign that failed to pay in 2016. Bernie Sanders, a Democratic senator, also failed to pay $45,000. And the city decided rather than litigating all of that, which would be very expensive, it was probably easier and best to just change the rules, which the city has done. At the Linda Ronstadt Music Hall downtown, I'm Bud Foster, 13 News.